look into the concepts of installation and deployment and some features which have been introduced as part of the new release, and we'll try to compare some of the features which are part of the new release. So in this lesson we'll try to see what's new in CQ 5.6, installing CQ prerequisites, installing instances of Adobe Experience Manager, and getting started with CRX Lite. These are some of the concepts which we are going to see as part of this lesson. So in CQ 5.6, which is one of the latest release, this happened in February 2013, which is an incremental release from the AEM technology. So you can find more about the release notes, how we can go through this new features. Okay, so as we know, like AEM or CQ is content management system and one of the world's best content management system. There are a lot of new features which are being released as part of each and every version. So as part of this 5.6.1 release, we have mobile site and application support. Okay, social communities including blogs, forums, calendaring, moderation is supported. Marketing campaign management is available inside the technology. Multi-site management is enabled, where people, if they want to manage multiple sites with different languages, they can manage. Ability to publish media is enabled. Active clustering will help you to go for load balancing, and various good options are there. And as part of digital asset management, which is sometimes called as DAM, we got support for dynamic media and ability to support different video formats. And of course, for DAM also we have active clustering capabilities for load balancing and failover architecture. And there are a couple of preview technology features which have been released as part of 5.6.1, where majority of the focus is on touch optimized UI, which will allow people who are non-technical users to access the content using touch optimized devices like tablets and smartphones, okay, or touch optimized monitors. Okay, so these people who are non-technical users like sales and marketing people, they'll be able to access and maintain the content and edit the content on the website, okay, their own website. For example, we have Samsung. So Samsung is having businesses all over the world. So there are different websites for Samsung in different geographic regions. So each region language content is maintained by the authors which are there in that country. So authors are non-technical users, or if you see as part of authors, there might be a dedicated number of people who are responsible for maintaining the content, or there might be marketing or sales people who might be responsible for maintaining the content for a particular section of products. They can use a touch optimized UI to edit the content for the website easily without having any programming language knowledge. Okay, so there are a lot of things which are available as part of 5.6.1 release.
Or do they have any other versions? If they are using some other old versions, they can upgrade without any cost, or they need to purchase again the new?
Yeah, the upgrade cost is different. For example, if the new version is for $2 million, probably upgrade will cost somewhere around $500,000.
And
Okay.
is there any other major versions still few companies are using? Like,
Yeah, 5 version 5.5 and 5.6 is something which is very common these days. People are upgrading from 5.5 or 5.6,
what is the
5 or
major
5.5
differences in this upgradation?
to 5.6. Yeah, the support for more repository capabilities are there. Multi-language features have been enhanced. For example, in 5.6 we got touch optimized UI, which was not there in 5.5 or 5 version. So people want to maintain the content when they are not on the desktop or on the laptop. They want to maintain the content from touch optimized devices. So that feature is added inside 5.6. Okay. Yeah. So non-technical users like sales, marketing people can maintain the content easily for their respective sections. So for installing CQ, there are some prerequisites. We need to have at least GRE 1.7, and then AEM quick start jar file is needed, and we need to have an hardware. Minimum 3 GB of free disk space is needed. 1.5 GB of memory is needed only for installation but not for running. For running, you basically at least need 4 GB of memory. Okay, otherwise your server will get slow. I mean, it will take longer time to start the server. Okay, and recommended is 8 GB, or if you have more than 8 GB, it's wonderful. So that the server will run without any
And
problem.
in this,
So customers with
do they use only CQ server
yeah,
or like do they use their own servers also? In companies, like do
sorry.
they use only CQ server or like they can use any other server?
They can use WebLogic or WebSphere, Oracle containers for J2E with combination of AEM.
Okay.
Okay, so they can deploy AEM as part of WebLogic or WebSphere, and they can get the capability of
In
AEM
real
there
time, like
because AEM is built on Java.
in real time, do they go
Yes, yes.
with the
Tell me.
CQ5 server or also in Oracle majorly? In most of the company.
And Oracle containers for J2E, if they have already invested in Oracle containers for J2E, they will basically go for a var
Okay.
deployment. Okay, or AEM, var or they'll go var or char deployment
Okay.
or R uh, deployment. So customers with valid maintenance and support contract receive mail notification with an upgrade coupon and can download the latest version of Adobe Experience Manager from Adobe licensing website. Okay, and Adobe Experience Manager is a server-side application that runs on Java platform. It is available in two forms. One is var file deployment or standalone jar uh, installation. The one which we are using for learning purpose is standalone executable jar file. But in real time for production servers, majority it is in var file format. So AEM is accessed entirely through a web browser. No client-side software or other than compatible browser is required. So majority of the browsers can allow you to access AEM features. Administration sections, non-administration sections can be accessed from any browser. For example, this is my browser, so I got just login screen. After starting the server, I can log into administration section. Okay, and there are various areas which you can maintain with the help of tools section. Projects, sites, publication, assets, communities, feed. These are non-administration sections. Okay, so authors can, of course, maintain the websites, which is in one term we can say they are maintaining the website, and they are administrators for the sites, for the websites. But majority of the maintenance tasks, like taking the log file backups or monitoring the health of the server, everything is done by people who are responsible to check, responsible to maintain the servers. Okay. So AEM is accessed entirely through a web browser. No client-side software or other than compatible browser is required. But you need to ensure that we at least have some latest version of browser so that we don't get any problems when you access AEM. So a quick start jar file contains the full stack needed for AEM. This includes Apache Flex OSGI container, integrated HTTP server, Apache Sling application framework, CRX content repository that stores all the content. We don't need a separate database if we have CRX. CRX stands for Content Repository Extreme because it is an alternative to a database. So majority of the data which we have, gets stored inside CRX rather than storing that in any database servers. And on top of this, we have AEM application built on above stack. So how to create and install AEM instances? You need to set up author and publish instance. To install the author instance, which is needed for the development, you need to create or get the jar file first. Okay. Once you get the jar file, and rename the file. Okay. Create one folder called subfolder called author and put that inside there. For example, how I have created the folder structure, similar to like this, you might be interested in creating the folder structure. Okay. So inside C drive, I have created AEM folder. Inside AEM, you can put author and publish. Yes. Yes, tell me.
See, like in this administrator and development, like do have different job roles, or else the developer is responsible to do all the installations and everything?
No, I'm just giving you information for your knowledge sake. Installation is not.
So in real time, they have a separate admin for AEM, right?
Admin for yeah, people who maintain the servers. Those administrators
in some companies, like if
they will take the backups of the log files and everything.
In the few companies, like if there is any tools, right, like what they do is it is involved like developer and the admin roles will be like mixed. If the client is very big, they go with the admin and a separate team, and the developer as separate team. If the company is very small, like something like things, they try to mix up the admin and
all responsible. Yeah. They want to save the cost. They cannot, if they are not able to afford the administrator separately, definitely they will put the responsibility of administration on the shoulders of developers, which in my opinion is not good option.
Okay, in most of the scenarios it won't happen, right?
Because developers are developers, administrators are. In most of the scenarios it won't happen. Because see, generally people who purchase the license of AEM, they are not small clients. They are not maintaining small websites. Only enterprise level organizations, big companies will only use AEM.
Okay.
Okay, so small websites, they'll not use this option. Any company which is doing a lot of online business sales will benefit with AEM. So to install AEM, once you get the file, the jar file, create one folder called author folder and create one folder called publish folder. Put the copy of the jar file in both folders. Inside the author folder, the jar file what you have, rename it to something called CQ5 author-P4502, which tells uh, AEM to run using 4502 port. So you can give that port number as part of the file name. So you can see like I have given CQ author 4502, and you need to have the JVM and JDK installed on your machine so that you'll get this option to run. The icon will appear like this if you want to, it can be executed. Once you double click it, it will extract the files inside CRX Quick Start folder. And very first time when you install it, you'll get this window anyhow, and it will take around 10 to 15 minutes for the extraction to happen, because this file is around 300 MB, and after extracting,
and how much time does it take for installation?
More than a GB.
10 to 15 minutes?
First time it will take 10 to 15 minutes depending on your configuration of the machine. If it is i5 or i7 processor, yes.
Okay.
See the file size, the folder size is very huge. Okay, 300 MB jar file got extracted and it became around 2 GB. So you need to rename that file to 4502 so that the server runs properly on that port. Okay, so if you see my URL here in the browser, localhost colon 4502, right? So the port number what I give there, that port number will be used for the starting the server. Ensure that you give proper port number for the author instance. And we also have a publish instance. Publish instance file should be renamed to 4503. Okay, that is a standard followed. So if you do not have the valid license, then the server will not start, or even if it starts, it will ask you the license key. So once the installation is done, you'll get this screen to log in to AEM. So you have the practicals which you need to do for installing the software. So the author instance, what you create, this is just a diagrammatic presentation how the installation instances will look in real time. So you'll have one author instance and multiple publish instances. So the author instance is nothing but a copy of AEM running on a separate server, and you have multiple publish instances, which might be running on same machine, or it might be running on different physical machines. And the visitors will be actually accessing the publish instance. They will not access author instance. Okay, author instance is for people who wants to maintain the website and push the changes to the publish instance. Publish instance is nothing but production environment, which will be accessed by the end users, visitors. So it will use a dispatcher technology, which is inbuilt in publish instance, to do the caching for the files which are very oftenly accessed. Okay, so for caching purpose, dispatcher is utilized. That is the inbuilt component of publish instance. So we need not to worry about it as of now. So whenever you do the changes, whenever the non-technical users do the update to the content, those changes are pushed to publish instance. Okay. So for example, if I'm an author, I'll access a website. You can see there are a lot of websites here, and one of the websites which I have example websites is like Geometrics demo site, and it has multiple languages of which the site is created. So imagine a situation that I am an author. If I click the page, it will open that in editing mode. Even if I don't have a programming knowledge, I can still maintain the content. For example, if I want to change the heading, change this text or this image. Okay, on the right side, we are seeing the list of entries in the product section. Without having much programming knowledge, I'll be able to maintain the content without any problem. So for example, if I want to change this text, I can just double click and it will give me a dialog to update the text in that section. Okay, you can do alignments, change it to bulleted list, create links, make it bold, everything you can do, right? And as an author, I'll be able to, replace the images using the image dialog box and resize it if needed. I can crop as well. So it's very easy for authors to maintain the content. They need not to do any programming, to change the image. Just drag and drop. That's it. So the editing section which we have seen is an author instance. Okay. So depending on how your instance and your personal access rights are configured, you can perform many tasks, including generate new content on the existing page, edit existing content, create new pages using predefined templates, move, copy, or delete the pages, activate or deactivate a page, or participate in a workflow. These are some of the common things which is done by the authors. Touch Optimized UI is newly introduced in AEM 5.6, allows non-technical users to access touch optimized devices to maintain the content without having access to laptop or desktop machines. And it allows you to, users who are utilizing touch optimized devices, they can change the colors interactively, okay, and drag and drop the components interactively without any problem. So this is the classic UI, okay, and this is a touch optimized UI. So classic UI looks like this, where you'll have the basic options, which will, some areas might not be touch optimized and some areas might be optimized. If you don't want to take the risk, you can always go with touch optimized UI. This is a classic UI. You can see the green bar on the top. The classic UI. This have been used by the developers and designers from a very long time. So these days, very few people who are utilizing, who have learned CQ in the olden days, will use classic UI. So in classic UI, even if you use touch on the tablets or smartphones, it might not work properly. To switch to a classic UI from touch optimized UI, you can just click this monitor icon beside the sites or projects link so that it goes to this section. So inside this screen, you can see like options. For example, this is a touch optimized UI. Majority of the things what you can do in touch optimized UI, you can do that in classic UI. But things what you can do in classic UI, few things you might not be able to do in touch optimized UI. Okay. So this is classic UI and this is touch optimized UI. So initially when it takes to this screen, let me tell you something about this screen. On this screen, on the left side, whatever links you see are for non-technical users. Options which are there on the right side in this section, majority of them are related to technical users, meaning people who know programming, okay, or related to administration section. Okay. So there is a difference which is explained here for classic. What features are there in touch and what features are not there in touch. Welcome screen is there for classic UI. Okay. Projects welcome screen is there for touch optimized UI. Sites and websites section is available in both classic UI as well as touch optimized UI. Tools is also available. Assets and digital management is also available. Campaigns is available only in classic UI. Collections is available only in touch optimized UI. Publications is available only in touch optimized UI. Tagging is available only in classic UI. You can manage the users either with touch optimized UI or classic UI. Okay. You can create workflows only in classic UI, not in touch optimized UI. Okay. So once you go to open the sample page in AEM, in the author mode, you'll find that there is something called Sidekick. Okay. When you are trying to edit the page, when this box comes up, this draggable box is known as Sidekick. You'll be able to control a lot of settings of the pages through Sidekick. Okay. To edit the code in AEM, we use something called CRX Lite, which is an embedded development environment inside the browser. enables you to perform standard development tasks in the browser. With CRX Lite, you can create project, create and edit files, edit JSP page, Java pages, HTML pages, CSS pages, folders, templates, components, dialogues, nodes, properties, and bundles while logging in and integrating with SVN. CRX Lite is recommended when you do not have direct access to CRX or CQ server. So how the CRX Lite looks like? You need to go to the URL and say colon and give the port number and then CRX/DE. This is path CRXD, where the development is done by the developers. So you can see, like, you can go to this URL and CRXD will be opened. CRXD Lite inside the browser. This is the development environment within the browser. Okay, so you can see on the right side which user is currently logged in. Okay, if you want to log in another user, you can click login and the username and password will be taken to show the content for that user. So you might need to do the practical to just explore the CRX Lite. Okay, and we'll stop here today. And during this lesson, we have learned that how the installation goes on, what files are needed for installation, what is author instance, what is public
Can you show us
instance,
like live installation?
okay, what port this board basically use, how to rename the jar file so that you can start running the server. Yes? Yeah, it's just you'll get a jar file. You just need to take the jar file and this folder will not be there. Okay, so once you get the jar file, which I am going to distribute to you people, initially this folder will not be there. So you need to put this file by creating this folder structure AEM inside C drive, AEM, then inside AEM author folder, okay, the author folder, and inside the author folder put this jar file and just double click the jar file. It will start doing the extraction. After doing the extraction of the files inside the quick start CRX folder, it will start running server, and a new window will basically tell that how much time it took for that server to start and on what port it is running. Okay, very simple.